Hey, welcome to Bears Banner. What's up, Jay?
What's going on, Bernard? How you doing, man?
Man, I'm doing good, man. Hey, I was laughing at this video last weekend. This guy had made this video, and he was like sitting outside on the roof outside his house, like outside the window. You know how they have them little small roofs. Then
Uh-huh.
he's walking down the street by a railroad track. Then he's standing in front of the house. And then the caption was how we act when the Bears don't have a football
Don't have,
game. We don't know what to do.
and that's crazy because I said that last week. I was like, the Bears got to buy, and they come back, and it's a Monday night, so we still got to wait another day. We still got to wait another day, but it's cool. It's cool. I just hope that they use this bye week wisely. Uh, I can just start off and say that they benched Braxton Jones and Theo Benedict is starting at left tackle. And Darnell Wright is healthy again, so he's going to be back at right tackle. So I
Okay.
hope this bye week did them good. We got TJ Edwards coming back, and Kyler Gordon is going to make his season debut. So I'm looking forward to this game.
Yeah, I am too. I'm hoping that's a positive change. He looked better the last game, at
Yeah, he
least
did.
in those limited amount of reps. I would say it looked better. I'm not sure will it be better, but you got to give it a shot because the thing I would say, as much as I criticize Braxton Jones, I think he just came back too early because he looked like he had absolutely no push this year, and that may be more so the case that that kind of injury he had, and you're trying to plan on your ankle.
Yeah, he's just not healthy. I mean, I understand players that they want to come back and play and contribute, but when you're not healthy, you actually hurting the team.
Yeah,
In my opinion, you're actually hurting the team. So I'm just glad they made the move. And it's Washington. Is this is gonna be interesting because Washington no scary Terry this week. Noah Brown, who caught the Hail Mary last year, he's out. So it's Washington is dealing with a lot of injuries as well, and where they're dealing with the injuries with people, we got people coming back. So that's a good thing.
yeah. I think those people coming back on the Bears side, hopefully they're ready to go as far as being in game shape. We getting Spider Man back. We hopefully with TJ Ellis back, we get somebody to be able to shed blocks up the middle, right, and it kind of slow down the run game because this team can run good.
Yes, they can.
And
Yes, they can.
so, and I'm trying to think who else we getting back. Are we getting Coastal Love back? Oh, we getting Booker back, getting Austin Booker back.
Yeah,
So
yes,
yeah,
yes.
that makes it
Hopefully he
better.
can bring something. Hopefully he can bring some type of pass rush, which is what we desperately need right now because we are just not getting to the quarterback and playing Jaden Daniels. Although he's playing, I don't know if he's 100%, but he's playing. So we hopefully with Austin Booker coming back and the addition of Kyler Gordon and TJ Edwards, it'll kind of store up our defense a little bit.
Okay. Yeah, Jay, looking at these two teams play each other, it's almost becoming a little rivalry, and it's always something that's kind of like fluky happen. Other
Hmm.
than I think 2022 season, I believe we kind of lit them up. I think it was 22. We lit
That was
them up.
22 when
Yeah,
DJ
I think it was
when DJ had the game. He had the career
yeah,
game again. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Then the
But
next
we,
year we had a lot of fluky stuff. We had the fumbles by Velus Jones on a punt. You had the double catch with uh you had the double
Darnell
catch
Mooney,
with
Darnell
yeah,
Mooney.
Mooney on the goal line that ended up not being the touchdown. Last year, I know we had the Hail Mary, but you know what a lot of people don't talk about is the Doug Kramer fumble on the goal line,
Yep.
which would have actually put them ahead in that game a little bit earlier,
Hmm.
which that might have made a difference, right? Because you have a negative play like that, a fumble on the goal line, that definitely kills momentum. And for a team that was kind of rolling at that point, right? Even though they had not beat no real good teams, they were on a good roll at that point. And that fumble, I think it killed a little bit, but they still drove back and got a touchdown. But after that,
And,
right?
and, and I was gonna say. That game last year was one of Caleb's defining moments. That was one of his defining moments where he actually, the Bears were down, and he drove them down the field. Kramer fumbled, but we got the ball back, and he drove them down the field again with the DeAndre Swift, wind up running the touchdown. It was just a Hail Mary that killed it. So that game last year was that was the game where I looked at Caleb Williams and I was like, okay, this kid can play. Through all
Yeah.
the adversity, throughout all the bad stuff that happened in that game, he was able to march his team down the field and go ahead for a winning score.
That's why, as much we don't really want to say wins or losses solely on the quarterback, but it actually defines how people talk about the
Yes, it
quarterback, though,
does.
right?
Yes, it does.
Because if they win that game, we're talking about the heroics in that game and how they came back and won. A prime example would be, let's go back barely a week ago, almost 2 weeks ago. That game was a kind of a little rough, the Raiders game, but when you come out and you
Mm-hmm.
win that game,
Mm-hmm.
quarterback, you will view
Mm-hmm.
the quarterback performance totally different. But if you
Right.
lose the game, people are jumping off ship and saying the other guy was the right guy.
Yeah. This is a game where is it? I know they interviewed Tyree Stevenson this week, and he say this game still hurts. He did say, he admitted, he's like, this game still hurts. But
Mhm.
this game is going to be coming off a bye week, and in the past with the Eberflus regime, coming off a bye week, it wasn't good. So I'm hoping that with the health, getting the guys healthy and the bye week, being able to go through these first four games and be like, okay, this is what we did bad, this is what we did good. Let's do more of this. Let's do less of that. Hopefully, they use this bye week to get them. They used the bye week to get themselves healthy. So let's hope that they actually were able to get themselves in a position where they're like, okay, we're gonna correct some stuff and come out again on national TV and put up a good showing.
Okay. Hey, I know we haven't got to this part yet, but Gigi gave her score. We'll come back and show your score again later.
27,
But yeah,
23. Okay, GG.
so one of the things under Nagy has been how they either went into bye weeks or how they came out of bye weeks. So hopefully with Ben Johnson, what we don't see is how Nagy came out of bye weeks where it looked like they didn't. I shouldn't say Nag. I'm sorry. I meant
But Nagy
Fluke.
too. If you
Both of
want to
them
go
actually.
back, if you want to
Yeah,
go back,
both of
Nagy
them.
too.
Yeah,
Nagy
Nagy
too.
too. How they kind of came out of bye weeks like they had not practiced like one time or nothing, right? And last year, after the Washington game, you could actually tell something had happened because after they lost the game, they went into a bye week. And I can remember saying, Caleb is regressing after this. And I said, it's almost like they overcoached him after the bye week,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And it seemed like he became more tentative. And then I think those next two games is where eventually they end up firing the offensive coordinator in that game, which kind of also made that season kind of fluky.
And it's crazy because me and my coworkers was talking about uh, this the Hail Mary game, and we was like, well, thank God for the Hail Mary, because what if they had won that game and then
Mm-hmm.
continue to win a few more games? Eberflus would probably still be here. Ben Johnson wouldn't be here. So again, as Bears fans, we optimistic and we try to find anything, every little thing we can to to spin a positive narrative. But at the same time, it's one of the things like, Eberflus might still be here had they won that
Yeah,
game and not went into a 10-game spiral. So
yeah.
you have to look at it like.
Jay, it's this one guy in the Bears group on Facebook that continues to talk about last year and how the Bears underachieved. That I actually still say, as much as that was a hard watching that losing streak, the best thing that happened out of that is getting rid of Flus.
Yep.
And the worst thing that could have happened was, like you said, they got to about 8. If you got about to 8 wins, you probably don't fire Flus.
Yep. Yep.
because you give them the excuse of rookie quarterback, etc.
Yep.
Let's give them a little time. Let's fix the offensive line. But I think when you get 5 games and you see this, matter of fact, I would say they might have not won that last game with flukes. They wouldn't have won that last game. That last
Nope.
game, they wouldn't have that
Nope.
play. It would have ended with that DJ Moore fumble. That's where that game would have ended right there. Because this seems like that team like mental toughness. While something happened last year, that was it. But Flus was already fired in that game when that happened.
Yeah. Yeah. But I just think this week, I'm looking for more from the offense. Our offense is ranked 17 right
Mm-hmm.
now, which is pretty good. We've always said we just need to be in the middle of the pack. Just if we can just crawl into the middle of the pack and slowly progress from there. But I'm looking for this offense to really be able to string some drives together. I think this is going to be a DJ Moore Oz game because Oz is going back to Washington. So I think they're gonna kind of Ben Johnson. It, just to go back real quick, Ben Johnson is one of them guys though. He be like, oh, he used to play for y'all. So let me see if I can target him a little bit more. He's vindictive like that. He really is. And I think
Mm-hmm.
it's going to be a game where a lot of DJ Moore and Zacchaeus is going to be featured on the offense.
Okay. Hey Jay, you know what you said, Jay, is very interesting. That the Bears offense is ranked 17. And for those who watching this show who maybe haven't kept up with the Bears a lot, this kind of like casual watch the game, that is major for the Chicago Bears. I know they're only 4 games in. Chicago Bears offense typically is ranked from 24
Dead
to
last
32. To 32 all the time. It don't
all the
matter what
time.
time. They go right to that position after the first game a lot of times. But the interesting thing is to be ranked that high and you can't run the ball at all. If
Yep.
they can run the ball at better than what they've been doing, they'll probably go up 4 or 5 notches right away. I mean, you literally don't. I don't believe the Bears have a game yet that they've gotten. I would say taking the quarterback rush yards out. I don't even think
100
they got
yards.
100 yards adding up
Yeah.
the 2 running backs together.
Yeah. 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 You're right. You're right. And again, it goes back to the offseason where all we talked about on this show and even nationally that the Bears need a running back. The Bears need a running back. And again, I told Mark Chin, I'm like, we had 3 picks in the first round. I'm sorry, in the second round. You couldn't package some of those picks to move up to get the running back that you wanted, and they didn't do that. And although, you know, for the sake of not hashing up the same thing that we always talk about, you really didn't need Luther Burton. He was there. He fell in
Right.
your lap. You take that. But the draft strategy without addressing the needs that we needed, and we went into this season with the same things that we were talking about at the end of the season, which we didn't have a pass rusher, we didn't have a left tackle, and we didn't have a running back. So
You're right. Okay. Hey, I see. Hey, what's up, Deb? I see Deb put 17. Just in case she wants the explanation on that. And NFL, there's 32 teams. And they ranked your offense and defense in that order on how good you're playing. So right now, through four games, the Bears offense is ranked 17. Now, mind you, there are a few teams that have played one more game, and for them to still be uh,
17,
17 to only have
that's pretty
played
good.
4 games, some teams got 5 games worth of stats is big difference for Chicago Bears, and also for the Chicago Bears right now. Caleb Williams is ranked in almost every passing category, least in the top 12, which is
Hmm.
very different. Chicago
Hmm.
Bears quarterback. As much as we might love different players here and there, using statistically, our quarterbacks are ranked 28 to 32.
Right, right,
That's a big
right,
difference as well,
right.
right, Jay?
Yeah, and it's a big difference, but because you we have a competent coaching staff now, and I still put that on the coaching staff being competent. And I think it's gonna be the reason why I really think this team is gonna continually to get better. As we talked about earlier in the season, after the draft, after the 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 draft, not the draft show, but the schedule release. We
Hmm.
talked about, oh my God, this schedule was brutal. Now all of a sudden, this schedule don't look too brutal. We got the Bengals without Joe Burrow. Here we go. Lamar Jackson is missing another game this week. He on the gimpy leg. The Steelers, they 3-1, but it ain't been pretty. You know, I'm more worried about the Browns in the AFC North than any other than any other of those other teams, because it's one of those. This is going to be one of those seasons. I told one of my coworkers, I'm like, it'd be funny if Jacksonville wind up in the Super Bowl. That's just how that's just how the season going. That's just how the season
Hey,
going.
hey, Jacksonville looked good the other day. I'm not gonna lie on it. There was one of the better games I saw by Trevor Lawrence. But to get to your point you just made, the AFC North looked scary when you first looked at that schedule, but
Yep,
the
yep.
Ravens are playing bad football, and also
They
the
got a lot of
Ravens
injuries though. They
have a
got a
lot
lot
of
of
injuries,
injuries.
and their defense is
They had
between them and
seven.
Dallas are the worst. They the worst
They
two
had
defenses in the league.
they had seven defensive starters out last week. The Ravens did
Wow.
seven defensive starters. So when people talk about, oh, look at the schedule, look at the schedule, yeah, but that was the team from last year. What this year's team looking like? So even us playing the NFC East. Well, we already beat Dallas. We got to
Hmm.
play the Eagles on Black Friday. We got the Giants coming up in a few weeks, who is a up and coming team. Jackson Dart has, shot some good therapy in that team.
Yeah.
So that's why you say you can never look at the schedule and be like, well, I'm going to determine that this week. Well, we can, but we never know when we be right.
Yeah.
We never know
Yeah.
when we're right.
And then you expect, like with a Jackson Dart, players like that. I always say this about guys who are drafted in the NFL pretty high. When you get those first few starts, maybe not that first game, and maybe a little hard, right? Because you're
Right.
getting this, you should have 3 to 4 really good games because teams don't have film
Teams don't
on
have
them.
no film. Right.
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 Then after that, we should see that multiple interception game, where it's just like, man, did they put them in too early? Now, the guys who don't go through that, those guys are really special, right? When you see them go to game 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and you're like, man, they're kind of steady, right? You kind of, but I expect them to have that game where they're going to do that. And it's funny because looking at them, Cam Scatterboo was a guy that we kind of briefly discussed here. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I think I just
Mm-hmm.
mentioned if he was there in the fourth, you get him if you missed all the other guys.
Mm-hmm.
He's I think Mark Chin described him right. He's Larry Zonka. But you know what? You cannot get a guy like that in the first or second round. I'm sorry. He's a baller. He's a CTE player away from looking at you on the sideline
Yep. Yep.
with the
Yep.
smelling sauce because
Yep.
he plays too
Yep.
reckless.
Yes. 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 Yeah. The Giants are surprising. Like I say, with Jackson Dart in there and Indianapolis, who would
Mhm.
have thought Daniel Jones, and their team is not, I'm not gonna say they're not good, but they're not special. But they
Mm-mm.
4-1. So this is gonna be one of those NFL seasons where you just look up and be like, okay, who didn't make the playoffs? I mean, look at the Chiefs. What's the Chiefs' record? Are they what? I think it's 2-3 or one and something. You
Yeah,
know,
they're not looking too good. They just got beat by the Jags the other day.
yeah, yeah. And then you got Philadelphia, who's lost two games in a row, where they can't find their foot on offense. So this is going to be one of them seasons where you look up and you be like, okay, who's in the driver's seat right now?
Yeah,
New Orleans won their first game last week. The only team, unfortunately, that hasn't won a game is the New York Jets and Justin
yeah, Jets.
Fields and Aaron Glenn. I'm just like, so
Yeah. Hey,
it's gonna
Jay,
be
they're 2-3. The Chiefs.
okay. The Chiefs, yeah, they 2-3. So when was the last time you heard the Chiefs being 2-3 in their division where you got um the
Uh-uh.
Chargers and the Raiders, who are I think 1-4, 2-3, somewhere in there.
Yeah.
Who's the other team in their division?
Chargers 3-2. Denver
Uh-huh.
3-2. The
Denver.
Raiders 1-4.
Yeah, yeah. So when was the last time you saw the Chiefs in the division looking up?
Yeah, it's been a while.
It's been a long time. It's been a long
Yeah,
time. But again, coaching matters. And I say that when you mention the Broncos because the Broncos got Sean Payton. And do I think Bo Nix is extraordinary? No, I don't. He got had a lot of college experience. He spent 6 years in college, so he's played a lot of football.
he played a lot of
But
football. Yeah,
the Broncos are I don't consider them special. I don't even consider the Chargers special. People brag about Justin Herbert. I'm like, over 4,500 yards every season.
yeah.
But what are you winning? You're not winning
Right.
anything.
Yeah, it hasn't led to a lot of playoffs, but you know what?
It has,
Two for two.
That lead us to this, Jay.
Two for two. Two for two.
Hey, we just gonna knock out 2 for 2 since we talking about other teams.
yeah. Yep. That can lead us to 2 for 2.
Yeah,
That can lead us two for
Jay.
two.
I got my 2 for 2. I'm gonna start out with my bottom two teams.
Mm-hmm.
The worst team in the league right now to me are the New York Jets.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The
I
second
agree.
worst team is the Cleveland Browns, and I think with both teams, I'm gonna get the Jets a little pass because their coach is new. But when I watch them play, I'm really not sure who they are, and they had a lot fall off on it. Their defenses fell off a lot over the last year or so when they kind of dismantled it, firing the coach. But Cleveland is a team that I think they've kind of got caught up in their own confusion,
Stuff.
right?
They all
Yeah,
stuff.
they kind of allowed themselves from bad press. They should have shut down which this is no reason why they're not losing at all, but they need to shut down any interviews with Shador Sanders, and they should not be entertaining any questions about Shador because with any team, you're talking about the players that start. There's nothing personal against. You should be talking about them, but you allow access to backup quarterback. That's kind of like if the Bears was allowing early on interviews with Tyson Bagent constantly. You don't hear from him. You're not supposed to hear from him. He's not the starter. It's a distraction. But the top two teams are Buffalo and the Lions to me.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna start from the bottom, and I'm gonna agree with you with the Jets. But my second team, I'm still gonna say the New Orleans Saints. I'm
Saints,
not
okay.
really as bad as the Browns coaching staff, management. They are just so incompetent for some of the reasons that you talked about. You know, After the Flacco trade, everybody's first question was, okay, where should Drew Sanders fit in all this? You don't even have to answer that question
Correct.
as a coach. You don't have to answer that question. So now I see an interview with Shador, and he like, well, I'm just gonna be ready to play whenever they put me in. And I kind of like him for that, just being like, I'm just working hard, and I'm just gonna be whenever my time comes, I'm gonna be ready. But you you squash all these questions about who's gonna be your backup. But now the little caveat to that is you got Bailey Zappi or Zappy Bailey, whatever his name is, on your practice squad, and you got Shador Sanders. Really? Come on. Just name the kid the backup. Bailey Zappi is not going to do you any good. He's not
No.
your long term. He's not in your future. He's just on your team. And it's one of those things where if you're not going to get a kid a chance to play or even elevate him to the second team, then what are we doing here?
What are you
But that
doing? Right.
happens. But that also happens when you draft two quarterbacks in the same draft, which
Yeah.
goes back to the RG3 Kirk Cousins draft with the Washington Redskins years ago. So I'm gonna put um, New Orleans and the Jets as my bottom two teams, and my top two teams. As much as I hate to say it, it's got to be the Lions. And I really have a 1A and a 1B in my top two, which would
Hmm.
be Buffalo and still Philadelphia. Only because
Okay.
Philadelphia still is the reigning Super Bowl champ.
Okay. Okay. Gotcha. Yeah. They earned the right to be in the discussion all
Yeah,
the
yeah,
time
absolutely.
until they show
Absolutely.
they shouldn't be in that discussion. Jay, I'm looking at this here game, and the main thing I'm trying to figure out, can the Bears find a way to effectively run the ball? And I did hear Ben Johnson actually. I like his honesty that he's showing right now, where he said sometimes we can't run because we're just not running where the play is designed. We're not hitting the holes, and of course, blocking can improve. And also, when he talked about the defense, he said, "Hey, some of it's technique. We're just not getting off blocks. Uh, right players call, but you got to get off your blocks and you got to win your one-on-ones," which is true. And I don't know what's going on with Roshan Johnson. So basically, the Bears are playing a two-man backfield, but I think Travis Hunter had just got reactivated.
Travis Homer
Homer, yeah,
is
Travis
going to be
Homer.
back. Travis Homer is
Mhm.
going to be back this week. But more importantly to me, I'm looking at, can the Bears stop the run? That's
Yeah.
going into this game. That's my whole premise right now. Can the Bears stop the run? And if we're able to stop the run, we got a leg up on the Washington Commanders. We got to be able to
Mhm.
stop the run.
Yeah, we do, and that's what I'm hoping. I'm hoping with TJ back, we able to stop the run. And I think what we also haven't had much, and hopefully we can get the improvement is JD. I mean, some Grady. Jared. Yeah, uh, has not. First of all, he hasn't been able to be healthy and play a game. He really didn't practice much in the offseason because he was not healthy. Sometimes this is the issue you get when you sign players that are 32 years old.
Yep.
They
Yep.
they might have been dogs and
Yep.
beasts early on, but
Yep.
then they had these nagging injuries, and it's like, man, if they could get on or get healthy, that's one of the risks you take. I mean, that just definitely want to. And I want to say I haven't seen a lot from Javon Dexter since the first game, as far as that, but definitely Sweat and what's his name? Adio, his
They,
name?
yeah,
Dango,
Dio
Dango,
or Dango, yeah, yeah.
MIA, both of them, MIA.
The total, it's almost like the Bears are out there with three linebackers, and three linebackers and four secondary guys with like no defensive line in the front because we haven't had anything from our defensive line, none of them. But like I say, Booker's coming back this week, so hopefully we can get some from him. Uh, Andrew Billings, when he's played, he's been effective.
He's been
But
effective,
like
yeah.
you say, Grady Jarrett is just been a mouthpiece ever since he signed here. He has not produced anything. But in order for the Bears to progress, we need some play from our defensive line, and that hasn't happened. And where the Bears are at right now, defensively and offensively, is on both lines, the offensive line and the defensive line.
Yeah, your front four matter on defense, and on offense, that front five matter. And I know just even talking about running the game, when I was looking at the PFF grades, when you really look at how the offense grade out a PFF, you really look at the grades and say, okay, you look at Joe Tooney is grading out pretty good. Donnell Wright, other than the penalties, is grading out pretty good. Dahlman is struggling.
Struggling
Um,
big time, big time.
but who's been doing horrible at the most part has been Jonah
Jonah
Jackson
Jackson.
and with Braxton, but Theo looked like he good. So technically, your strongest spot to run the ball would be either outside of Darnell Wright, or if you run inside, it will be between Dahlman and
Dalman
Tony.
and Tony. Yeah.
Now here's the problem. Your running back cannot seem to have the discipline to run in the middle. I don't care if the players ran right there, he's going to always seem to bounce it outside for some reason. I'm talking about Swift. This is where you do need that back that could just power ahead behind those positions where you appear to be good, because they have the two strongest run blocking grades right between
Mm-hmm.
those two. So that's really what you want to run at. You run a run in that A gap on the left side if you're running, especially short yardage. But if that running back is not disciplined to that and not reading his blocks well, and he just bouncing stuff, it is not helping you.
I just don't understand how Roshan Johnson has fell out of grace in Ben Johnson's offense where he can't even get a carry. Because
Mhm.
I do believe last year he led the Bears in touchdowns on the ground where he was being used as a short yardage back. So I can't
Mhm.
understand how he's fell out of grace this quickly. I mean, I know he's been injured, and your best ability is your availability. I understand that, but at the same time, if the guy's healthy, why can't he get no carries? That I don't
Yeah,
understand.
yeah. Only thing I could think of is maybe no block, no rock. I don't know, right? Maybe it's no
But
block,
you
no rock.
also got to remember too, you know, Roshan was our best pass pro running back in the
Yeah,
backfield for the last couple of
right.
years. So I just don't know what it is with Ben Johnson and him not wanting to use Roshan Johnson in the backfield.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying that no block, no rock is this concussion, those concussion affecting
Possibly.
his mentality to want to engage. So
But my
if
thing
it's
is,
affecting his ability to not want to engage, then he still got the thing on his head as well. So
but my thing is, if that's if that's the case, then my thing is he shouldn't be on the roster.
he should be on the roster.
If you feel like that, he should be on the roster. What's the little guy name from the Flintstones? Gazoo. Somebody told me, man, I laughed so hard. I laughed so hard when they said that Roshan had the kazoo helmet on. Man, that tickled me to death. I don't know why, but that tickled me. It ain't funny. It ain't funny because concussions are serious. But that was funny. That was funny as hell to me when they said he got the kazoo helmet on. I'm like, wow, not kazoo.
Hey, that's what it looked like.
Yeah, yeah, that's what it looked like. But if that's the case, then he shouldn't be on the roster. That's all I'm saying. So.
Right,
But yeah,
right.
so with that, this game coming up, like I said, Jaden Daniels, I don't think he is 100% healthy, but they missed a lot of weapons on offense. They've already ruled out Noah Brown, they've already ruled out Scary Terry McLaurin, and they say that Debo is going to be a game time decision. So if you're missing those three, I mean, they really get like handing this game to the Bears on a silver platter.
You got to go out and produce. And this is going to be one of those things where games where the league is going to probably milk this as long as they can, because right, it's the battle of which team got it right. And
Hmm.
I think what's going to happen in the
Hmm.
long term, both teams going to be got it right.
Hmm.
That
Hmm.
I mean, two people can't go number one. One gonna go before the
Right,
other, and I
right.
think I think both of these guys gonna be really good quarterbacks. And I believe what we're gonna have is, I'm just using names just for the sake of using names. You're gonna have the Brady Manny type thing
Hmm.
where you got one of these guys as the future go on, they're gonna be the reason why the other team don't get to a championship or get out of that
Right,
championship conference,
right,
because they're gonna
right,
be that
right.
team that's in the way for them. And I'm praying that it's us, the Chicago Bears, that we the one be in their way. And I'm looking for some great things from tomorrow from Rome Odunze. And if Loveland play, I think he's gonna make some plays tomorrow. Is he playing Loveland?
Yeah, he's supposed to play. They say everybody is fully healthy. They say everybody is full outside of Jalen Johnson, of course, but they say everybody is fully healthy and everybody's going to play. But I'm looking again, like I said to you, off air. I'm looking for DJ Moore and Austin Kids to have a big games, to have big games this week because, like I say, Ben Johnson is vindictive like that. He's like, "Oh, you used to play for Washington. Well, let me see if I can feature you some kind of way in this passing game." So those are the two that I'm looking forward to seeing. DJ had a career game against these guys a couple of years ago, over 200 yards, three touchdowns. Although that was with Justin Fields, but I'm looking for DJ to have a big game, and Oz the kids to have a big game as well.
Yeah, that man, that'll be nice to get DJ going. I know perception wise, there's fans that believe he's not being targeted, but he's actually is. If you actually look at their receptions through 4 games, Rome only have 4 more receptions. You mean it may be a little bit more targets. DJ just haven't had those big plays yet. But I think as they practice and Caleb has become more accurate in recent weeks, I think him and DJ are going to start connecting on those big plays. But I do like the fact that I know coming into this season, and I said it late last season, Rome is going to be your deep threat because
Yes, he
once
is.
Rome plays like a big guy, I'm just using an example of a player, not that he plays like him. He's like a Mike Evans, a guy that he doesn't have to need that much separation. He's
Separation,
going to
right?
get you 100 catches. As soon as he step off the line, he's going to be open. You just got to throw it. And
And
when you
what
get that kind of guy, that defense is going to have to honor and put that second guy over top more than often, which is going to open up a lot of deep stuff for DJ.
and what fans also have to realize too is DJ is actually being used in a different role as well. You
Yeah.
know, he's he's not really being used as a number one wide receiver. He's being used as a playmaker. And when I say that, fans, I'm talking about how he's playing wide receiver. He's lined up in the backfield. He's taking some handoffs. So those things are going to take away from his targets in the passing game as well.
Mm-hmm. And DJ is very talented when he get the ball in his hands. So you ride this out, and I know I'm saying, and I will get to the predictions pretty soon. I know we're seeing a lot of rumors about different trade stuff, and I will say this: the Bears got to ride out this with the defensive end. You cannot afford technically to bring a fourth guy. You got too much money tied into defensive ends,
Mm-hmm.
and you also just drafted Booker 2 seasons ago, and you got Dominique Robinson, who you drafted about um, 3 or 4
3 years ago.
seasons ago.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, these guys just got to show up. You cannot sink that much money into defensive ends and turn around and trade capital for like a Trey Henderson and have them. That's the case. Then you admitting that the acquisition of I always butcher the guy's name, Adea, that was a mistake.
Right, right. And they gave him a lot of money. They gave
Yeah,
him a lot of money. But I really do think Austin Booker coming back, I think that's going to provide some pass rush. And what I would like to see um, our defensive coordinator do, what I would like to see is him being able to incorporate Booker, Abendayo, and Sweat in some type of package when they rushing the passer.
yeah,
Maybe maybe that could kind of like stir up some stuff, but he's got to find some kind of way to get a pass rush that we're not getting on the quarterbacks.
yeah. I agree, Jay, and also that new front four is a unit, so it also helps when those two and that three technique has to be able to get push as well, right? Because even if those guys don't get to the quarterback, if they start closing it up and those guys are not getting no push, then you're allowing the quarterback to just kind of step up and make his throws. So those guys as well have to get that push that makes it different. And I think with Kyler Gordon come back, that should help him also against the run, and it's going to take those tight ends out of the game, that where the Bears kind of maybe was getting at, or the running backs coming out the backfield. So that's going to make it different. But Kyler Gordon being there is so key, because he plays like that extra linebacker when he comes out there, because he's a big guy, he's athletic, he's very physical.
He's very physical for a nickel. He's very physical for a nickel. Oh, God darn it. He's very physical for a nickel. He blitzes well. So having him back is going to be key. Not to mention his coverage in the secondary. So I'm looking forward to seeing him being able to contribute, finally in Game 5 of this season.
Okay. Hey, Jay, we're going to get to game of the week, and then we get to these predictions. Man, we got some good games going on, Jay.
Yeah, I think I already know what mine is. I think my,
You
my
know,
game of the week, is
who you
going to
got?
be Tampa Bay and San Francisco.
Okay.
Yeah, hey, I'm gonna tell you, and I ain't trying to swing the pendulum either way, but it's things that we talk about all the time. How we talk about these quarterbacks get drafted and they thrust it into the spotlight, and if they don't produce, they gone from another team. I want to use Baker Mayfield as a source. This dude is a baller, man. Baker
Yeah.
Mayfield is a baller. Tampa Bay is 4-1 because of him. This dude is a baller. Tampa Bay, I think they averaging 30 points a game, 32 points a game, and it's all because of Baker Mayfield. No Chris Godwin, no Mike Evans, and he still finds a way to put this team in the position to win all the time. So that's my game of the week. That's the game that I'm looking at this week.
Yeah, Jay, that's my game too. What's that? The 49ers against Tampa.
Yeah, yep.
That's my game of the weekend. Baker is a good example. And Baker also is a good example of when people have a perception of you
Yep.
of not being good. Because really, Baker's second year was good in Cleveland. He actually got Cleveland to the playoff his second year, which Cleveland hadn't been to a playoff in a long time. Now, his third season wasn't too good, but there was a perception of where did his teammates kind of like him, or, that kind of stuff going on. And maybe Baker, I thought maybe Baker, what he did initially was he maybe totally took on too many like advertisement that was going on during the season, which kind of might have
Mm-hmm.
distorted people's views of him. But Baker is a baller, and I know Cleveland got caught up in looking at Deshaun Watson and say, okay, we'll just move on. But
Mm-hmm.
Baker
Mm-hmm.
is playing the lights out. I had to give it to him. I mean, the games that they might have been behind, and you like, man, they still got a chance when Baker. If Baker get the ball again, they got a chance.
Yep. Yep. And how did that work out for Cleveland? I saw a post where Cleveland got 8 quarterbacks on their books this season. That's not
That's
they
crazy.
got 8 quarterbacks that they paying this season, and 5 of them not even there. That's
Yeah.
crazy. That's
Yeah. You know
absolutely
what the
crazy.
craziest part about all this with Cleveland, when we get to the scores, with all the commotion and if Shadil should play, etc., the craziest thing about Cleveland is they still have an enormous contract with Deshaun Watson. So
Yep.
it almost don't matter who plays good
Yep.
this year.
Yep.
They
Yep.
have not, they are not ready to take that salary hit for Deshaun Watson. So Dylan could look bad and Shador end up taking over and he could look good or whatever it's going to be. Next year, they're going back to Deshaun Watson
Yep.
because that salary cap hit and that dead cap, because his contract, I think, was 100% guaranteed.
It is
So, yeah,
230 million guaranteed.
nobody is taking on that.
So one of the two things gonna happen. Hey,
Hey, what's
Keith,
up, Punt?
one or two things gonna happen. They're gonna either cut him or they're gonna start him.
Yeah.
That's you know, take the hit. And to me, as incompetent as as their franchise is, just take the hit. Because the fans don't want to see him. The fans don't want to see him, and you don't want to pay him. So just take the hit. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
you already pay him, so what's paying and him not playing is the same thing. So it's just like take the hit.
Yeah. Yeah, because he hasn't really. If you look at Deshaun Watson, he's an example of sabotaging your own career. That
Yep.
year when he decided to sit out because he didn't like the ownership, what they did, that was really the year that he should have been gaining additional experience to the NFL speed, because he only played maybe 10 games his first year because he got injured. He had a good second year, it took him to the playoff. His third year was pretty much garbage time stats mostly. The
Yep.
fourth year he chose to sit out. Then the allegation came, and then he was suspended almost that whole season. He played a few whatever amount of games last year. So really, if you look at Deshaun Watson career, he's, other than getting that bag, he didn't sabotage his career. And you look at him now, he's probably, whenever he plays again, he's still almost probably like a second year player trying to
No other
get used
team,
to the speed of the game again.
no other team is gonna touch him.
No, nobody want that. You know.
Whenever Cleveland decide to do what they're gonna do, he's gonna be doing the same thing me and you do on Sunday, and that's sitting on the couch watching. watching it.
Hey, look, we got. Hey, this year we've been battling it. It's a pretty tight battle between.
Yeah. We've been
You and I, 3-1,
we've been going through it
Clank,
so far.
yeah, it's pretty tight, man. When I looked at this season, we can get to the predictions now. I looked at this season before it started, and I had the Bears winning 9 games, going 9-8, and this game is one of the games I had the Bears losing. But man, Jay, what man? I don't know if I'm ready to get my score yet. I'm gonna go for it. This is one of the games I'm gonna change my mind on. I'm actually gonna go with the Bears on this game. I'm going with the Bears. I think this is gonna be one of those games where both teams are gonna score a little bit. I'm gonna go with the Bears winning this game 31-28.
Okay, and I'm thinking the total opposite. I'm
Okay.
thinking, I'm thinking this is gonna be a low scoring game, and I'm looking at the Bears to win this, coming back again in Washington with a field goal, winning this game 24-21.
Okay, you got 24-21 the Bears. And I got them Bears winning 31-28. And last year game, the game really coming down to the wire was 12-7. When it 12-7.
The final score of the game
Was like
last year,
18-15,
18
I
to
think.
15. Yeah.
Yeah. So
18 to 15.
so yeah, 18-15. But that game, at the most part, that game was 7-12 for a large portion of that game. And as much as when we talk about that game, that Hail Mary, even if you look at Jalen Daniels' yards, the great portion of his yards were in that last drive
In the
as
last
far as
drive.
throwing the ball. Yeah.
Right.
As far as throwing the ball, the Bears actually did a good job against them defensively. And you don't expect to lose a game that, I want to say it was 35 seconds left from the time the Bears kicked the ball off. You don't expect
You,
to lose a game with 35
you don't
seconds
expect
left from the kickoff,
you don't
and
expect
the
to
team
you don't
has no
expect
timeout.
you don't expect to lose a game on a Hail Mary. That's
No,
no matter how much time it is. You don't expect to lose a game on a Hail Mary.
right.
That's just, but again, that was incompetent coaching, because we're talking about the 17-yard pass play that went prior to the Hail Mary, where had they not gained the 17 yards, they wouldn't have been in the position to actually throw the ball in the end zone, which was
Right.
coaching. So
Yeah. And you know what? And I'm so happy that Tyreek Stevenson had seemed to the last 2 games to have gotten it together, because that
yes,
Hail Mary last year, it wasn't just that play by itself. That play, he was leading up to some stuff that you was actually starting to criticize him through that season, where he was getting into these shoving and pushing people after plays. He was getting
poking
penalties,
people in the
and
face mask.
he was doing stuff. And so that play, the gist of that play, the reason it worked was because he was there with his back turned, getting into it with the fans, celebrating like, "Hey, we got this game," and just making mockery of them. And I had never seen nothing like that. That a player actually realize a player is being executed because of the fans. Hey, I see Plank got the Bears winning 28-20. What's up, Plank? We got
Oh
you down
wow,
for that. Okay, Plank looking like Gigi got him winning 27-23. So she has a
23.
close. Yeah, her score is pretty close to yours, Jay.
I just think
4 point game.
I'm happy for Tyreek because he's a young player. He's still a young player, and I'm just happy for him because this season so far, outside of one game where he kind of got beat when they was playing against the Lions at that point, but at that point the game was pretty much over. But he has really stepped up and played really good football, especially with Jalen Johnson out this year. So outside of the Lions game, he's really played some good ball.
Yeah, he's been you know what? And this is a good time for him to shine with Jalen Johnson being out. You're going, even without him being out, right? But now you're trying to take on the best guy. And I think he's starting to look like the guy that we saw his rookie year.
His in
Well,
his rookie season, right?
yeah, I'm looking at him and him play, and I'm like, yeah, I'm glad we got him. Other than besides Porter, well, Porter had got picked up by the Steelers, and that was part of the conversation. And Tariq Stevenson was showing like, no, I'm a dog that year, and so it was looking like a good team with him and Jalen Johnson. So last year he really started taking a step back. And like I said, it could be just lack of focus. And he said something the other day, let me wrap it up, that was interesting to one of the reporters. They asked him how did he stay focused, and I want to say he said he's taking caffeine pills or something like that. It was something
Oh
that he was saying. It was some kind of like, oh, okay, if it worked, keep taking them.
Right, right, right.
Hey, you got anything else before we close out for the night? I mean, we looking for
No,
that.
no, no. That's it. Just we're looking for the win, and like I say, I don't like it because we gotta after the bye week, we still gotta wait an additional day. But at the same time, I do get a chance to enjoy football on a Sunday without having to root for my team. And it's two Monday night games this
Yeah,
week
that's what I was about to
again.
say.
And I'm not going to even focus on whoever playing the early game because we got the late game. So I'm looking forward to that. But outside of that's it. Go Bears. Go
Go
Bears.
Bears, man. Hey, let's just keep getting those victories. And everybody who's watching, if you're watching on Facebook, hey, make sure you subscribe to us on YouTube and Twitch TV. We try to grow those numbers. And if you're on Facebook, join the Bears Banner Talk Show group. Man, we talk some real good football. And hey, this is for the people who really want to talk serious football, not the people who just kind of like the little
Homers.
meathead stuff and right the homos or the people just say, stuff. Hey, to me, it's like if you're gonna say something, be able to defend that.
Right.
And also, it's not those pages where you kind of got those people where you kind of like, how did they let them in this group? They really seem like they're undercover Packer fans and stuff like that.
Hmm.
Hey, we
Hmm.
found out you're a Packer fan in our group, we kicking you out. You're not staying up in there being no undercover Packer fans in the Bears group.
Yeah,
That's not happening.
you're definitely going to be vetted because anybody I approve, I go through your entire profile before I even say like, okay, I'll approve this person. So yeah, I'm serious. So we just keep it real. We just keep it real.
Yeah, we keep it real. Yeah, this is a
We don't need
real
no
Bears.
shenanigans. We don't need
Yeah,
no
yeah.
shenanigans.
We cheer for our team. We want the success of Caleb Williams. And I ain't saying everybody gonna like him in the group, but we want the success of our quarterback. I mean, who wants to be looking at a quarterback carousel every other year? I mean,
Right,
that doesn't make sense at all. Hey,
right.
but until next time,